We have significant breaking news from the NHL. We just got word that Rick Tocchet will not be returning to continue on as head coach of the Vancouver Canucks. What does this mean for the team? Where could he land next? We'll discuss all those points coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we had some pretty significant news from the NHL, especially if you're a fan of the Vancouver Canucks. Elliot Friedman just confirmed with a post on X that Rick Tocchet will not be returning to continue in his role as head coach of the Vancouver Canucks. We knew there was a contract that needed to be signed for him to extend and continue on. There was a club option for this year, which Jim Rutherford and Patrick Allvin confirmed they would not be exercising. They didn't think it was the right thing to do. They wanted to work out a new extension with Tocchet, so he wasn't on his final year going in as like a lame duck coach. It was probably, I agree, it's the right thing to do. Either you work out an extension or you part ways. And while they made an offer, they said to Tocchet when they did their end of season media availability, which I think was 8 or 9 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. And they said within a week or so we should have an answer from Tocchet. They were hoping he would return. They made sure they mentioned that he would have been the highest paid coach in the Canucks history, not really referencing what his actual value would be on the open market per se. We don't really know what the number is that he was offered, and well, now we found out that he did not accept. And it sounds like there was some negotiations and some countering back and forth as late as Friday into the weekend, but nothing that delivered enough progress to get him to sign. And now we know he's out. So this is terrible news, in my opinion, for the Canucks. I think he was a great fit there as a coach. And to be honest, I think this kind of brings on some bad karma for the team. To be honest and fair, when Rutherford and Allvin, they had first brought in Bruce Boudreau. They wanted to make a coaching change there on a whim. And, well, I don't know. I just felt like they were really, once they kind of made up their minds, to me, I think they made up their minds long before Bruce was gone. They wanted to bring Tocchet in, and I think that was pretty much all in the works. I just felt like they really treated Bruce like crap. He was a much more experienced coach with a way better winning record, and I'm not saying that he was perfect. I'm not saying that he, the team maybe didn't need a change, but now we're going on 4 coaches in 4 years, and this organization's not getting ahead at all. We saw some progress, and now we're seeing a major step back, and this step back could get worse before it gets better. Like I said, Tocchet was a good coach, Jack Adams Award. And now he's gone. And the trickle-down effect here for me is, what's Quinn Hughes thinking? We know that Quinn Hughes was a big fan of Rick Tocchet, and he really wanted him to stay as coach. We know that Rutherford made it clear that Quinn Hughes is not eligible for an extension yet. He's got 2 years left, but that, it may not be about money for Quinn, as Rutherford said. We all know it's pretty clear that he does have ambitions to hopefully play with his brothers one day. Well, obviously, he made reference that Quinn could go play with his brothers. Maybe his brothers could come to Vancouver, which is all kind of weird, considering that they're under different teams and contracts. Probably shouldn't be talking about that. But that aside, I don't think there's any chance that Jack and Luke are coming to Vancouver, to be completely honest. So, is Quinn Hughes going to force his way out of Vancouver? If they lose him, he's arguably their... Well, right now, he's by far their best player. It's not even close. Their best player, their MVP. He's their everything, their captain. If he leaves, especially if they can't trade him, if he were to leave as a free agent, that would be even worse. So, yeah, it's a terrible, terrible spot. We saw a team that went from winning a division to taking a big step back. We saw I don't know what you want to call what's happened to Elias Pettersson, a 100-point player down to a fraction of that. JT Miller goes because of their relationship disputes and all that, and now Tocchet's gone, and now is Hughes next. Like, wow, what a fall from grace this team has seen. It's just, the trickle-down effect could be substantial, and there's obviously people talking about the fact that this could have something to do with ownership and their either unwillingness or lack of ability to spend. I know one of the contentious points for Rick Tocchet and some of the players is the fact that they don't have a dedicated practice facility, which is also a big reason why it's been a struggle to keep Pettersson staying in Vancouver, training with the team all year during the summer. So, they don't really have the right facilities. They don't really seem like they are too interested in spending money to build one. I mean, I know it's easier said than done. You got to find the land. It takes time. All that. It wasn't probably going to be something that impacted next season, but something that will impact the future for sure. And it's kind of mind-boggling why they don't have this. And then you get the idea that for Tocchet, I'm guessing that a lot of this boiled down to money. I mean, Tocchet has a great, long-lasting relationship here with Rutherford and Alvin. He was their hand-picked guy that came in that they knew from their Pittsburgh days. Like I said, they pushed Bruce out, even though I know Rutherford hired Bruce, but it was a different situation then, and then they treated him like crap, pushed him out so he could bring Tocchet in, and now here we are. 4 coaches in 4 years is kind of crazy. And I think this team is it's spiraling down, and what happens next is what's most concerning. Who's the next head coach of the Vancouver Canucks? We can have another team added here to the list of coaching openings around the league. There's a lot of them. What are we up to now? 7, 8? I lost track, between Sullivan being let go yesterday. I mean, this is not a firing, but still same sort of scenario where they couldn't come to an agreement. The Canucks ownership right now kind of have a reputation of kind of being, I don't want to call it frugal, cheap, what have you. I don't know Aquilini's financial situation. It just doesn't look good when you have a coach of the year that the team loves, your captain loves, you're trying to, and it really is right now it's Operation Keep Quinn Happy, and they're not doing a very good job with that. So it's going to be a very interesting offseason, to say the least. I know last summer, getting Hronik signed, who was obviously played a lot with Hughes and was his main partner the year before, was something that was a big priority too. And they had a little bit of difficulty coming to a contract agreement on that. Obviously, Hughes has gone through a lot of partners during his time in Vancouver, and he's had some great partners and friends that he really enjoyed playing with that he really liked, like Chris Tanev was prime example. So it's almost like this team can't get out of its own way. I'd expect better out of Rutherford and Alvin, but I don't know. It's just going to be some interesting times, to say the least, with the Vancouver Canucks. We get a quick statement as well from Rick Tocchet that he's released through reporters, basically saying that with his contract lapsing and family being such a priority for him, that just felt like the right opportunity to explore other opportunities. He's not sure where he's heading or how it's all going to play out, but it just felt like the right time for change, essentially, right? Yeah, I guess kind of what you expect him to say. I would not expect him to say anything, remotely negative about the team or any of his concerns or any of the reasons why. He's not going to come out and say they lowballed me on money, or I have concerns about the team not being in a good spot, or I don't like the direction of this. So he's not going to say those things out of respect for his former boss as an owner and all that. And like I said, I do think at the end of the day, he has a good relationship there. And as much as Rutherford and Alvin, it could even be a case maybe they want to pay the guy more and Aquilini won't let them. Like, there's lots of layers to this that you may not know. So clearly Rick Tocchet is ready for a new challenge by the looks of things. Like I said, let me know your thoughts on who could be the next head coach. Do they go with a guy like Manny Malhotra, obviously already known to the organization? Do they jump into the mix of big competition with other teams that are looking after some of the big names? There could be more bigger name tenured coaches let go if they lose in the first round. That's always a possibility we could see. I know there's been some chatter about Jared Bednar or John Cooper, which is hard to imagine. They've been there so long, but at some point the team needs to change. If the team's not winning like they used to, then as much as those guys are well respected, sometimes you just need a new voice and a new strategy, new something, right? So we'll see what happens, but I think Vancouver is not going to be exactly a model landing spot that coaches are going to be fighting over to go to. So I'm going to guess we're probably going to end up with a less experienced, cheaper coach. That's my prediction for the Canucks. And I don't know what else they do. They have to figure out a way to make this better. Because if Quinn decides to leave, this team is screwed. Absolutely screwed and set back big time. Quinn Hughes was a gift to that team. He should have never been a Vancouver Canuck, and I'm not saying that in a mean way to talk about Vancouver. Vancouver got lucky that he was available in the draft because a couple teams ahead of them screwed up and did not, like Detroit, prime example, took Philip Zadina instead of Quinn Hughes. That was a big, look how that worked out. Ken Holland really messed up that one, and you could probably argue there's a couple other teams too, because Quinn would be obviously near the top of his draft class now. If he had a redo, right? But there's other teams that definitely screwed up, and he should have gone higher and should have never made it to them. They're fortunate he did, And if they mess it up and they lose them, then that's on them, and it's going to be something that sets them back for years to come. So let me know what you think on the Rick Tocchet situation. I know it's one thing, but I think this is the one thing, along with what else we've seen over the past year with the drama in the Miller trade and how Pettersson's a shell of himself, and now the Hughes thing. It could have a just domino effect, and this team could be in serious trouble after a year ago thinking they were on the way up, close to winning the second round of the playoffs and heading towards the Western Conference Final, but a long ways from that now. Let me know your thoughts on this story and what happens next in the comments. We'll discuss further. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and stick around. We'll keep you up to date with all the news, rumors, and analysis of all 32 NHL teams. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.